Welcome, everyone, to the last Video Store Clerks podcast with Frank and Scott.
The days of Blockbuster, Hollywood, and the independent video store are over.
But the days of searching the shelves for hidden gems and overlooked cult classics is never ending.
Join us while we drown in a sea of streaming options and ask the question,
what the hell is a good movie anyway?
I'm Frank.
I'm Scott.
And we're the last Video Store Clerks.
Oh, it's Spanish. It's just Spain Spanish.
Have you ever seen a movie called Pop Star? Never stop.
I'll fucking kill you.
España.
I don't know how you manage to make everything anyone says about the movie Pop Star for literally every situation
it's the guys
in your
from
life.
Lonely Island.
They,
Tim Meadows is in it. Maya Rudolph is in it. Seal is in it. Justin Timberlake is in it.
Who else?
Who else is in it?
No, I don't want to know. Why did you send me a text that says aliens are real?
The government acknowledged the existence of UFOs, but they say it's probably not aliens.
You seem very prepared to answer this question.
Like the guy from Ancient Aliens, it's aliens.
You have to mess up your hair when you do that.
I can't even say his last name. I can't. I need to look up that guy's last name. I don't hear it enough, and I know
exactly what he looks like the second you mention him, though.
Yeah.
His image pops into my head because of that fucking meme.
And back in the day, I watched a lot of Ancient Aliens, but I don't have cable anymore.
Is this going to be a really long answer about why aliens are real?
It's just a lot of people are like, oh, here they go. They're trying to distract us from something else going on. And it's like, okay, that could be true. And then everybody's like, well, okay, so they're acknowledging UFOs, but saying aliens aren't real. Does that mean that they are real? Or like, okay, I'm good with that. You guys don't know what it is. It's probably some other country.
What made you write that down?
It's
aliens
one of those
aren't real.
All the sci-fi movies that I've watched in my life, everything that I've read, all the games that I've played that are sci-fi, like it's one of those things. It's fun. I love the idea. But then if you think about it, if it's real, where do we go? But then you've got the government saying, well, it's not aliens. It's just people trying to spy on us
Yeah, I think it's like Stanislaw Lem aliens, like Solaris. You're not going to be able to communicate properly.
Yeah, or Ad Astra. There was nothing.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. It was really fucking slow.
Yeah. It was
I like
pretty.
the idea behind it.
It was, it's like this big intense moment. It's like there was nothing.
Yeah, because that was Terrence Malick, wasn't it?
Oh, good question. Good question. Not sure.
Terrence Malick he makes the slowest movies. Lars von Trier and Terrence
We
Malick.
saw that at the movie theater. And it was, one where you could eat and drink. So we had a lot of food. Okay, we'll get some cookies.
And you could hear it.
But it's just one of those things, I'm waiting for that day when we have our, moment. Maybe. Is there going to be an arrival?
Maybe.
Who knows? Is it just other countries dicking around? Maybe. Is it our country dicking around and they're saying it's other countries? Maybe. It's just crazy. They're talking about it. They're openly talking about, like, they're acknowledging, yes, these things in these videos, we don't know what they are. So they're saying it's something.
Yeah. It's one of those things like I want to believe in ghosts, but I can't. I can believe in aliens. Statistically, gotta be.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things like, I'm like, I don't know, do I have time to worry about that?
Yeah. But are you worried about it?
I don't know. I'm more worried about it, like, because I finished The Expanse. I'm worried about like a pan-dimensional elder god kind of presence, like out in the universe, like but one consciousness that will just like eat worlds. That's more what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't want to get in a spaceship. I don't even really like being on the ocean in a boat. I'm terrified of dying in the vacuum of space. I'm not like claustrophobic per se, but I think I would freak out. Anything short of like 10,000 years from now spacesuit. I mean, they've been using spacesuits for a while. Nobody even remembers there not being a spacesuit.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, with the spacecraft out there we're using, shit happens.
Well, when you hear like astronauts talk about like working in a spacesuit and they like have to train to do it underwater. There was one that was like shorter. He had to train and get a special spacesuit made.
Just because he was smaller?
Moving around in those things. Like I want agility in my spacesuit. I want fucking Alien Covenant spacesuit.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be okay
something
with
lets you be a little more agile.
Yeah, when somebody hands me a spacesuit that has like the full pretty much 360 view.
Oh, or
out
what
of the
about
thing.
Prometheus, where he's got the hookah? He's hitting something out of the straw. That one guy. Yeah.
Yeah. If I could get drunk in a spacesuit.
Yeah. Oh, but it'd be funny if you have to reach the straw. So
This is my fermented piece.
You're trying to fetch it with your lips. Like, come here, because it's it'd be stuck on the suit. Like you'd be like. Just fighting inside the helmet trying to get that fucking straw. No, I mean there's no telling.
But I really liked in The Expanse how those spacesuits looked like they weren't gonna pop. When they make mechanized suits to wear where you can Ripley around, then I'm into it. But until then, I'm not going up there with Jeff Bezos and Musky Musk.
Yeah, that's
like going up there with Michael Fassbender from Alien Covenant.
David.
Yeah, that's how I picture all those tech guys.
What are you doing, David?
Riding around in a circle, shooting baskets.
And I mean, we just watched Armageddon, so watch out for those asteroids, you know?
I've been thinking about Armageddon too much for how much I didn't like most of the movie.
Oh.
I like the experience of watching it and then doing this, but all in all, bad taste in my mouth. I need Michael Bay to make it up to me. So,
did you like Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
I just didn't feel like it at the time. It wasn't
completely understandable.
It wasn't sci-fi enough for me.
See, I'm so hungry for it. Sometimes it was out at the movie theaters. I was like, let's go see it.
I want Space Boogeyman.
Space Boogeyman?
Yeah, I want aliens to be real. I at least want them to be in the movie. I'm not coming for Witches in the Woods with aliens. Are there aliens? I was kind of hoping in Armageddon that one was going to jump out at the last minute, and I was like, let's just throw the fucking sink in there too. We're tearing this fucking house down.
What'd you watch this week?
I watched a bunch of bullshit.
A bunch of bullshit.
That fucking game show that Kelly was watching when you left last week.
Oh, the bullshit.
Yeah, I just sat there and watched that. I finished that season out, and then I almost thought about going back and watching the couple episodes that I didn't see.
Missed.
It's like the most well-constructed game show ever, and Howie Mandel nailed it. It's good.
Howie Mandel.
It's a trivia show, which I like trivia.
I walked in and said, is this deal or no deal? Open the suitcase.
Fucking Howie Mandel, when I was a little kid, with Bobby's World, made it so I never flushed the toilet with it open, ever. At the end of Bobby's World, they have those little public service announcements.
That's right.
From germaphobe Howie Mandel, we didn't know was a germaphobe at the time. And he was like, never flush the toilet with it open or your toothbrush will get poop all over it. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's pretty specific,
and for
Bobby.
the rest of my life, I'm like, nope.
Particles. No, did you ever see Walk Like a Man?
Yeah, a long time ago. Did you ever see Sea Monkeys, bro?
I don't know. That sounds familiar.
It was on CBS. It was Howie Mandel's show where he put a rubber glove on his head, blown up, and it was like him and two other guys with rubber gloves on their
familiar.
heads. It was like a children's show. It was
that sounds so familiar.
Pee-wee's Playhouse kind of.
Wow.
Level children's show.
No, Little Monsters? Was that it?
I love Little Monsters.
Fred Savage.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Little Monsters is
You got to
good.
show that one to your kid for sure.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be there. I've got a list. It's not going to be as... I had this whole thing.
It'll be like back when I was a kid, there was this guy named Fred Savage. The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Man, yeah, that one was a good one. This is probably my first road trip movie. Flight of the Navigator kind of counts, I guess.
Ooh, was he Flight of the... I don't think he was Flight of the Navigator.
No. I mean, Flight of the Navigator just because it's almost a road trip movie.
It's a spaceship.
Spaceship road trip movie. Exactly.
That little creature.
That fucking movie traumatized me when I was a kid. Man.
I love that movie.
That opening scene where he goes out into the woods and then he comes back and his parents are old. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
If you think about it, that's deep, especially for a kid that age.
But sometimes I mention that to people and they're like, I don't even remember that. How could you not remember that? That's the only thing that really stuck out about that movie was I was like, what the fuck?
And at the end, isn't that how things come back around? He comes out of the woods again?
Yeah, and it's all fine, which is great. That's hardcore good little kid storytelling.
No, that adventure, I watched that movie. I got excited when that movie was on.
Oh yeah, me too.
That was a good one.
Yeah, because that was right in between. My grandmother was like, oh, you gotta watch that darn cat.
We're old enough now, it is a classic, right?
That darn cat or Flight of the Navigator? Flight of the Navigator is for sure.
Flight of the Navigator.
That darn cat has gone the way of Dick Van Dyke. You're like, do you think a fucking 18-year-old right now knows who fucking Dick Van Dyke is?
Yeah.
He was on Diagnosis Murder.
Dick Van Dyke, he's still going, 94 years old.
Fucking awesome. Other than that, this week I watched the end of the tour and had an emotional reaction because I'm also reading Infinite Jest for the first time. It's one of those books that people nod like they've Oh yeah, I'm not going to say I read it, but I'm going to say I know what that is.
It's
but I
thick.
also know it's a really thick.
It's
book.
thick. I'm looking at it. It's
but people
huge.
had told me, like when I was in college, that the book was pretentious and hard to follow and dense, and it's long. But I'm not having trouble understanding any of it. Like I don't know what everybody's fucking big.
Just describing that book was a huge "that's what she said" moment. Several "that's what she said."
But I'd watched his like commencement speech,
Mhm.
and I thought Jason Segel did a really good job playing him.
Great movie. I have not read that book. I will never read that book.
You don't have time for any of
No.
that shit. That's what I've watched less TV this week. I finished The Expanse, like I said, and then went back to watching The Expanse. I just didn't like the influence the show was having on the way I pictured people in books I'd been reading for 10 years.
Mhm.
And I know it's going to drop off early, which is a bummer. But it ends at the end of a book. Each book kind of functions as a story, so it'll be fine. I like the show, but man, the books were fucking amazing. And then I've watched Batman Hush, which I hated the way it was fucking animated. It was like an anime,
Yeah.
but it is one of my favorite comic books of all time. So one of my favorite Batman story arcs. It was a good cartoon. Catwoman and Batman fuck. Spoilers.
How does he get his dick out of the bat
Well, he
suit?
reveals he's Bruce Wayne to her. Lots of spoilers
He reveals his
for this 28-year-old comic book.
he reveals his Bruce Wayne to her.
It's Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
He showed her little Edward. That's a deep cut. Sort of.
Dude, he wasn't shimmering in that movie though.
I probably wouldn't be good if Batman shimmered.
Or if like he thought Catwoman smelled. He makes his face in the first place. What's that look on his face? It's like the smell is just
Jiggle bells. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Robin to lay an egg in something.
I still need to watch the Batman myself.
You still haven't fucking watched it?
I'm waiting for the wifey to find the time that she can come. I want to do it in a solid watch. I want to do a watch through.
I guess that's what's good about this podcast is I don't want it to be too like timely.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go back and listen to these episodes and they're about stuff because people find things on streaming all the time.
That browsing gets out of hand.
Yeah, and some of the best things I found at the video store were just super old and buried and dusty and still on VHS.
The catalog.
Yeah.
The catalog.
Every now and then, I think I found a couple movies, really random movies that we didn't have the display case for anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'd be going through the movies on the wall in the back. The one I worked at, you brought the case to the guy and he gave you the one back with the...
Oh, okay.
Like we had the wall of movies behind us,
yes.
you know, that were numbered, and I got really fast at typing them into DOS. And that doesn't date me at all. It was like 2008 and he's still using a fucking DOS computer.
Oh, even at corporate Hollywood, you know, we had that printer.
Oh yeah, with
had
the fucking
holes,
things,
the perforated edges.
Yeah, you can rip them off.
No, we still, and so a copy of American Psycho that I bought on DVD
Come
from
to
there.
think of it, we had that too.
Huh.
You had to sign for the movie every time.
Yeah,
at ours.
No, that was the deal.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that wide half-a-page receipt.
The American Psycho DVD that I bought because I was like, it's so cheap, I'm gonna get it. I saved my receipt inside, so I have my Hollywood receipt from buying American Psycho like 10 years after it came out.
I have one Blockbuster video that I didn't return. Sadly, it was The Believer, which I didn't really want to watch again.
Wait, Martin Sheen? No,
with Ryan Gosling as Jewish Nazi.
Oh,
you told me to watch that movie.
I'm thinking, and I was thinking The Believers. I believe.
No. Yeah, the Believer, Jewish kid who grows up to be a skinhead, and it's Ryan Gosling.
And I told you to watch it.
You told me to watch it.
You know, I don't think I got around to watching it.
You fucking kidding me?
No, not at all.
I swear to God, when we were like younger, you were like, dude, you got to watch this movie. Like, have you heard about this Jewish Nazi movie with fucking Ryan Gosling? This was like before anyone knew who Ryan Gosling was. Like,
yeah.
Back when he'd United States of Leland. Pretty fucking crazy.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
Ryan Gosling's career started off weird. Stay with Ewan McGregor and Naomi Watts. You remember that?
I don't think I remember that.
I remember I fell asleep in the theater and I had to watch it when it came out on DVD.
Nah, man, that's my bad. I feel like I might not have made it around to that one.
But that's all I really watched this week. You're excited about the Predator prequel?
I had no idea certain things were happening. I didn't know that there was a Predator prequel called Prey.
I haven't seen the trailer for it.
It's a Hulu original. Coming out August 5th. It's a prequel to Predator. I watched the trailer and I got super excited. And because it's August 5th.
What is it about? Like, what's the
the trailer's kind of vague, but there's definitely.
But it's supposed to be before Schwarzenegger?
That's what I'm assuming. And I made the choice not to read articles about it. I don't want to know what's coming.
Well, literally anything could come before the first Predator movie.
That's what I'm saying. And prequels were such a big thing there. For them to do a prequel now.
Yeah.
I can almost appreciate that.
I never really got into the Predator lore. The Alien lore I got real into when I was a kid. I used to buy those like grocery store fucking Alien novels.
Eckerd's Pharmacy.
Yeah, I got one that was it was like a guy and he was like trying to make a symphony of alien screams.
Were they really weird comics?
Yeah, like aliens had this was like a book. Like a novelization, and it like had it was like more alien lore.
Mine were more
canon.
comic-y what I would get, but they weren't like a real comic.
Yeah, I know Alien and Predator like crossed over and were together for a little while.
I thought I was so cool for having them because nobody else had them. I was like, I got them from Eckerd's.
Oh, the comics?
Yeah,
but I read a lot of the comics,
but they weren't the comic. It was this weird off-brand. Like,
oh, that's weird.
I didn't collect X-Men cards. I collected these cards that.
Oh, you've told me about this. There's some other superheroes.
They
like
were
made up superheroes just
to
for the
X-Men.
cards.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
It was. I'm gonna find them. I'll show them to you sometime.
Yeah.
It was a whole set of characters that were they were similar to the X-Men.
Yeah,
this is not the X-Men.
Oh, I have like the '92 Fleer Ultra entire X-Men set, the whole thing. It's not worth shit.
I look back on all those things at that store. It was a dollar store for kids for toys. It was the off-brands.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was the off-brands.
There isn't even an Eckerd anymore.
No, they're gone.
Because they turned into CVS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
The first time I saw CVS was where the Eckerd used to be, and I was like, ah.
I hadn't seen any of that shit when I moved down here. I was like, where the fuck's the Rite Aid?
Yeah, and then The Boys, season 3, June 3rd, Amazon.
Which will be a week ago.
Yes, yeah. Which is fine. Because it'll be pretty fresh.
I can't wait. I'm stoked. Especially because I wanted more Peacemaker once Peacemaker was over. It's like, fuck. God damn it.
The Boys does it for me.
The Boys is not the same as Peacemaker. You gotta watch Peacemaker.
I haven't.
No equivalency. I'm excited about Umbrella Academy too.
I had to stop.
Really? I liked it. Good time travel.
Yeah, good time travel. Where does it end?
Oh, I don't know where it ends.
Where does it end?
As long as I'm still enjoying it, it's fine. And as long as I didn't think it ended yet.
As long as you're happy.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I watched season 2 of Russian Doll after I talked so much shit. It was great. It's fucking great. I like admitting that I'm fucking wrong. Like, I really...
You're putting in that asterisk.
Yeah.
Right there.
I went and did it. Yeah, asterisk. Scott talked shit about making a second season of Russian Doll because the story was over, and it was great. It didn't need to happen, but I liked it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Good time travel. Different kind of time travel than the first season. Well played.
See,
Natasha
there's this
Lyonne.
Part of me that wants to say, "Oh, a different kind of time travel."
Yeah. The producer's Amy Poehler.
That's part of my Hollywood saving movie theory. I feel as if the house in Umbrella Academy is the house from the one about the family that's in the house that's all
Hill House?
Yeah, The Haunting of Hill House.
Because they live in that giant fucking weird mansion.
If you look at the layout of that set.
Oh, it might have been.
No, and that's the thing. From that to that, and then there was even another Netflix movie that I watched. And I swear it was the same set. They just changed it up enough. You know, they can shuffle some columns around, add some stairs, take some stairs away.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It was right there in front of my face, though, and I just happened to be watching all of these back to back to back, and I couldn't get it out of my head.
That makes me feel good, though. Sometimes, like, they'll break down a spaceship after a Star Trek series ends, and that thing gets destroyed, and you're just like, the fucking Enterprise is gone, you know? Or like how they had to rebuild the Millennium Falcon and all that shit. It really bums me out when they do that. Weren't they selling one of the fucking Raptors from Battlestar Galactica?
I've seen a Raptor for sale. I've seen a Viper for sale.
I'd put that shit in my backyard and just hang out in that.
Yeah, and
like
they're big.
Clubhouse.
Some of them are big. It's the ones they had in the hangar, I'm assuming, based on the dimensions that I read.
That's badass.
Yeah. So they made it that long. Somebody held on. Didn't you tell me that Katie Sackhoff has one.
Sugar flight suit home was what I read.
Oh, okay.
Was the last day of shooting, she like put her flight suit on and got in her car and drove home. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I got Olympia an autographed Battlestar ornament. I went ahead and I got an autographed season 1 for myself on DVD.
Oh, when I sent you the things she was doing, the autographs and stuff?
I did it.
Oh, you did it. You didn't tell me that. That's awesome.
did it. Oh, I never told you that?
No, you never told me.
I wanted something cool from Battlestar that was nice.
I think she was doing that to get money for Michael Hogan. Colonel Ty. He fell down and hit his head and needed some sort of surgery.
And it felt really good to get stuff from her. And, I saw her at that one thing downtown and she seemed really nice.
Yeah. And then Fred Ward died.
Fred Ward.
I'm going to have to watch Tremors because, man, it's so good.
My top 3 were Tremors, The Right Stuff, and The Adventures of Remo Williams.
Yeah, and then he was in the first ever NC-17 movie.
Yeah. Wow.
Can't remember the name of it now. Not a memorable thing. There's lots of boning in it, though. So.
Lots of boning.
I remember being one of those things where they like lobbied for it for the movie and then used it as a marketing thing. Like, we're going to be fucking in this movie. It's an erotic thriller.
The quality.
But you know how I love an erotic thriller. I'm going to watch that Ben Affleck one any day now. I mean, made my wife watch Knock Knock. And she'll never fucking let me live that down. And I liked it.
And that's Eli Roth's chick in that, right?
And Ana de Armas. And
yeah.
Keanu Reeves. And it's a remake, apparently.
Stop. No.
It's not a great movie, but I kind of like it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean.
It's up there with The Special.
Would that have happened if his house wasn't that nice?
No, probably not.
It's where a nice house gets you.
Sweater wearing Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be in this office.
Just trying to wear this Mr. Rogers sweater and hang out. It's the first time I've been alone in 6 years.
Whoa.
It was all right. It was an all right movie.
Knock Knock is not knocked up.
Yes, it's not. Don't make your wife watch it and tell her it's a Judd Apatow movie. I didn't do that. But yeah, Fred Ward is dead.
Oh, God.
That's how our brain gets off track.
Yeah.
But I do want to watch Tremors again at some point.
Tremors has been a while. Good one. Okay, so if you listen to this and you're thinking, oh, I want to rewatch Tremors too.
Tremors 2?
Tremors as well.
I'd rewatch Tremors 2.
All right, writer guy. Was that
Fred Ward's in Tremors 2?
Was that the flying ones or was that 3?
3 is the flying one.
2 is just where they're walking.
They start walking.
The
around.
waddlers?
Yeah, the little chickens.
Is that the one where he recruits the guy and they have to drive around the remote
control
cars?
Like another guy to annoy
They go to
him.
Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's the old playmate.
They get hired to kill Tremors because he's the ultimate tremor killer.
Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon's off with this girl somewhere.
Yeah, because he made all the money off the graboids. Graboids, that's what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
Graboids.
That's right.
In the first one of the big things, I think TikTok or somewhere, the opening credits, Kevin Bacon is hammering this nail into a fence post. He fucking misses.
Oh, I remember it clearly. Yeah.
So if you're watching, check out Kevin Bacon missing a nail with a hammer.
Tremors is worth rewatch. Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
Also good in it.
Oh yeah, Reba.
And the Three Ninjas grandpa.
They got them guns. It is.
And the dad from Family Ties.
You never know who you're gonna find in a small town.
It was a good small town.
Anyway, yeah, Tremors is good. Go watch Tremors someday.
They're all worth watching. There's a series with Christopher Lloyd on Sci-Fi Channel.
Well, no, they kept going with what's his name.
Well, yeah, they did that up to like 4, maybe 6 or something.
One of them is like Tremors Ice Age.
At some point, 2000s, they did a Tremors the series. One season on Sci-Fi Channel. Christopher Lloyd was in it. And nobody's seen it but me. I've never talked to anyone else.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that. And Christopher Lloyd, huh?
Christopher Lloyd's in it, yeah. And then they shot a pilot for a new Tremors series with Kevin Bacon, and the pilot didn't make it.
Oh.
Like the network passed on it, and I think it just died, which is kind of a bummer.
He's busy doing weird horror movies.
Well, in honor of Fred Ward, make the fucking Tremors series with Kevin Bacon.
Make that
Whatever
happen.
channel was going to do that. Sci-Fi Channel, you got a hit now? Resident Alien. You better get another one before this one fucking ends, because you're not very good at keeping up with that shit.
Reach out to Kevin Bacon.
I feel like Battlestar ended and they just have been missing left and right.
I never watched Warehouse 13.
Warehouse 13 was it.
I started it once or twice. It didn't grasp.
Did you ever see Friday the 13th, the series that had nothing to do with Jason?
Nope.
It was like an antique store, and all the items were cursed in some way.
Oh,
and so each one was like a thing, and that's exactly what Warehouse 13 was.
I feel as if that's exactly what you told me 10 years ago or whenever that came out.
Made like the show Eureka. That quality.
You've described it to me the same way you did years ago.
Yeah.
So you're sticking to it.
That makes sense.
Perfect sense.
I had strong feelings. I watched the entire thing.
Well, good thing is the movie that we watched had a runtime of 81 minutes.
It did have a runtime of 81 minutes, which I really appreciated because this was not my favorite movie.
No. Handheld movies, found footage, it's an acquired taste.
Frank loves handheld found footage movies. He seeks them out. He'll watch all of them. He just wants to blanket cover every single one.
The cool thing is you can do that.
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait. He did one. Bigfoot.
He did the Bigfoot, and that is in my. There were several Bigfoot ones. That's a good one, and there's another one I could not find the name of it. There was one that was scarier. It was like a horror movie.
A Bigfoot one?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, it was creepy as fuck. And I think they made it take place in Texas.
Well, here's the deal with the found footage thing. This kind of found footage movie, we're in a fucking room, one room, like a really small apartment, and there's like a shot on a subway.
They were in the apartment the whole time. And while this is classified as a found footage, I'd have to
I mean, it's a paranormal investigation.
They don't actually find, it's not in the literal sense found footage.
Yeah.
It's just handheld documentary style.
But I mean, same,
it goes under
the genre.
You Google it, you IMDb it, found footage movies pop up. That's the category it's falling into. And I have seen a ton of them.
Give us a summary real quick, and then I'll tell you all the things I'm confused about.
2012, directed by Torrens. Written by Rodrigo Cortes, who's best known in the States for directing Buried, starring Ryan Reynolds, and writing and directing Red Lights, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I didn't
Buried
see
was good though.
Buried, and see, I feel like I've seen Buried, but I know that I haven't seen Red Lights.
I remember Alamo Drafthouse did a thing where you could like get buried in a coffin, and if you made it through the movie, they'd give you your money back.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
Totally. How deep they gonna bury you? You know?
Yeah, like Dave Chappelle when he was, crackhead on Fear Factor. Oh, he just sleeps in the bed of bugs and shit. Like, I'm just gonna take me a nap.
Yes.
Yeah. I would do it.
I would have done it. Did they feed you down there? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
can you still get to have dinner with the movie?
Yeah, can you get some pizza or like a burger squeezed in through a hole somewhere? I want some queso, damn it.
Yeah, could I have another beer?
Well, in this movie, Apartment 143, currently streaming on Amazon, it's a team of parapsychologists. They conduct an investigation involving a family living in Apartment 143. It's an unemployed widower, Alan, played by Kai Lennox, and his young son, played by Damian Roman, and teenage daughter, played by Gia Mantegna. The investigators are played by Rick Gonzalez, Michael O'Keefe, and Fiona Glascott. Basically, the dad moves his kids after losing his wife, and the strange occurrence follows them from the old house
into the shittiest apartment ever.
It's horrible. And what was he? He was an agricultural engineer.
Yeah, I don't even know.
There we go. He's an That's not even looking at my notes. I love the handheld movie. Bad ones I will turn off. There's plenty of bad ones. I have some good ones we'll talk about here in a little bit. I didn't want to dip into the bad ones too much.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of bad ones.
And something really weird that I noticed while I was looking up some of the ones that I'd seen before.
But I like them when they're in the woods, not so much in a house. There's been some good ones. Session 9, was that what it was called?
The Renee Zellweger?
No, the one where they were like renovating the mental hospital.
So that's several of them.
Okay.
There is one, The Quiet Ones. Did you ever see The Quiet Ones?
No.
The Quiet Ones is a pretty good one.
You've been seeking them out for a long time. You used to call me all the time and be like, I saw another found footage movie.
My thing is, if you're in a dark enough room and it's late enough, I mean, it's one of the things that really scares me. You watch the big budget scary movies, there's some jumps. The shit's not that dark. Some of these get dark.
Yeah.
This one wasn't the darkest. It had some good, the jump scares. If you're in the dark and you allow yourself to...
It never got me.
It never got
me once. The daughter with the white eyes was like the creepiest thing in the movie. And she did pretty good.
And the thing about their jump scares is in some movies they try and disguise it. If you watch enough of them, you know when it's coming. They're looking in the bathroom mirror. They open the medicine cabinet, close it. The most common is it's there. Oh, but people, how many years now? No, it's not there. It's when they turn, it's there. Or they even walk downstairs.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, they'd use this. They use like a slightly different technique to, you thought you had us, but you didn't. But then we got you anyway.
Yeah.
So what this one to me did was it was the obvious scare most of the time.
Some of them looked really bad. It was like they tried to get you with a jump scare, but then they didn't get me. And then the special effect looked so fucking bad that
when the strobe lights in the living room.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
That
was the really bad
you
one.
Knew that it was going to happen, and you knew that it was going to be center screen.
And it was tense for the lead up to it. But then when I was like, oh. kind of deflated.
But like you're saying, when the little girl pops up at one point and she's just fucking standing there in the doorway with the wide eyes.
Yeah, but I got a little more of a like, all right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing was, with the activity that's going on in the apartment, it starts right at the beginning. As soon as they walk in the fucking apartment, they're doing a sound check. Your fucking wall starts shaking.
Yeah,
shit.
and you had told me there was a guy from Caddyshack in it, and I was just like, I don't.
So yeah, let's jump to the cast for a minute. His name is Michael O'Keefe. He was fucking.
Once I saw him, I was like, oh,
the main guy from Caddyshack, the younger kid. His name in Caddyshack was Danny Noonan.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Was like I was looking for somebody from Caddyshack.
You were looking for like a fucking Bill Murray.
He was a grown ass man, and
yeah, no, it's the younger guy who gets the chick knocked up, and they have big plans.
I remember.
Chevy
now.
Chase with the no.
I love Caddyshack.
Caddyshack's the shit. It's all she wrote. Fucking love you, Bill Murray.
Someday you need to watch the movie about the guy who did National Lampoon.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah.
I've seen some documentaries on them.
Oh, it's not a documentary. They made a movie for Netflix, and somebody plays everybody in it.
Oh.
With Will Forte.
No shit.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Oh, that fucking sounds amazing.
Here, let me look it up real quick. Just
there you
because
go.
I hate not saying what it is.
Well, yeah, so Michael O'Keefe, Danny Noonan from Caddyshack. I'd watch Michael Clayton. He was in Michael Clayton randomly. One of the movies I just watched to go to sleep to recently. He's in that.
I could watch that again.
It was good.
That was a pretty good movie.
I like Michael Clayton. It's fine.
Man, I think I saw that once. I feel like I own that movie.
Really?
I think I
That's
might.
a random one to own.
So the National Lampoon movie is called A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
I've seen that. I've seen the thing.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's not as like laugh out loud funny as I thought it was, but it's a funny story. And everyone in it's really good. They get somebody to play Bill Murray in it, which was really weird.
No shit.
Yeah, I forget his name, but you'll recognize him.
Does he do a good job?
Yeah, he does an excellent job.
Cool.
Yeah, everybody in it did a great job.
If you're going to fucking play Bill Murray, like, you should be able to do it if you're going to try.
Yeah, and then what's his name? The guy with the mustache who was Leon and Roseanne. He plays him when he's older, telling the story.
Wait, was that... is that fucking Michael O'Keefe?
No.
Was Michael O'Keefe in Roseanne?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to look that up.
Oh, shit. Did we just do some weird thing? Oh, man.
Now I kind of want to run it down and find out.
That's
Martin
weird.
Mull is who I'm talking about.
Oh, that... Okay.
He was her boss in Roseanne.
There you go. I fast forwarded to the diner days, maybe, in Roseanne, when her and Jackie worked at the diner.
Isn't he their boss at the diner?
Danny O'Keefe.
No, Michael Mull is their boss at the diner.
Oh, shit. I don't know, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Roseanne's
He's Leon. He's the gay guy. Her gay friend, which was real progressive for Roseanne at the time. Roseanne was a badass at the time.
Fast forward on that one.
I mean, sometimes you take Ambien and you can become a crazy old lady that started her career with a brain injury. So I don't know.
And fucking married Tom Arnold at one point. Tom
Kinda
Arnold
awesome.
married her.
Stupids is underrated, bro.
What's the one with Rick Moranis where he was the bully? His name.
God, you're running us into corners again.
I know. Sorry, I'm getting out there. Fucking Tom Arnold. He was in Soul Plane.
So Michael O'Keefe was in Roseanne. Holy shit. He appeared in 35 episodes.
He was
of
somebody
Roseanne.
big. I think he was Jackie's
He's
love interest.
He's Jackie's ex-husband.
Fucking, I pulled it out of my fucking ass, dude.
That's so weird.
I pulled it out of my ass.
He's got a fucking goatee. Mustache and goatee combo.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, man.
That just randomly happened.
Wow.
But I knew,
You
once we
fucking
started
nailed it.
talking about it.
That's why I don't recognize him. He looked nothing like that in this movie.
Well, he still had hair in Roseanne, right?
Yeah.
A little. Is it the weird island?
I feel like he has
have?
hair plugs now.
Is it what I call the island? You know my island?
The island of hair on your forehead?
Well, what's his name? Rob Corddry?
on your five head?
I sometimes I compare my hair to what Bill Murray's looked like in Kingpin during the final. It's not that bad, but I feel like that's where it's going. Anyway, let's not fucking talk about my hair.
Shit.
Let's not talk about my hair. I hated on dudes for man buns man buns for years, and now I have a man bun. So.
Honestly, the most recognizable person in this fucking movie is Rick Gonzalez, though. He was the one I recognized immediately. And then Kai Lennox, I was like, I know who that guy
been
is,
in
but
some
I
shit.
don't. I had to look him up to find it.
But from what? And what were I didn't
everything.
Look,
He's a police procedural dude. Definitely in Castle. All the way back to NYPD Blue, Law and Order, 90s police procedural guy, victim or murderer or something. Always
that same kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it all comes back
Rick Gonzalez.
to Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, it does. And Rick Gonzalez, right? We didn't talk about that before, we started talking tonight.
Rick Gonzalez?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's hard for us to
Like,
talk not to talk pre-recording.
Yeah, especially when he comes in.
But Rick Gonzalez was Spanish and old school. He was in Coach Carter, Biker Boys. I don't know if you ever watched Biker Boys back in the day.
Yeah.
He was in Lie to Me, Green Arrow for some TV. Rick Gonzalez was also in Castle.
Everybody. All of them. They make the circuit, man. You got to make the circuit.
You with your Nathan
body,
Fillion thing, and then I feel like you talked about Castle a lot. And
I do, which is funny because Castle's not that good. It's really not that good at all.
I've seen maybe 2 episodes my whole life.
Yeah, it's just comfort
TV.
Yeah, comfort TV.
Like the way I do The Office.
It's simple police procedural. I know I can figure out who the murderer is before they do every time.
The original CSI series.
Oh yeah, big time. But that's what good writing is you got to let your audience figure it out just before they do. We really don't want to be surprised. What we want to do is figure it out before these dumb fucks.
Yeah. But
this movie was all over the place, though.
It really was. Those are probably the two biggest names in the movie. Michael O'Keefe, Rick Gonzalez, and Kai Lennox are kind of a tie. Well, I bet they're all on the same level, really. Just Michael O'Keefe's a little bit older.
For sure.
He's just older.
Yeah. But like when they showed up, I was like, why is this guy wearing a suit? And then Rick Gonzalez and this blonde Irish woman are just like...
Cash.
In the beginning of it, didn't she call her... Or he like introduced her as
the secretary.
The secretary. Was that what it was?
He was being playful because she was obviously more than a secretary.
See, I missed because it seemed like an out of context like thing to say. I thought he was saying that she was like the window or some sort of medium or something like that, and then that never came about. Didn't Rick Gonzalez try to kiss her at one point? And there was like they alluded to that and then never came back to it.
But that was enough to show you that there was something there.
Because of that, and because the guy who wrote this has written really good movies, I almost think this movie got cut up. And I did feel like it was a little over edited for a handheld found footage movie.
The choppiness there?
It was the like action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a little too much editing and a little kind of what I like about a found footage movie is you're sort of trapped in that camera. You don't have any control over where it's going to go or anything like that. And when they cut a lot during those moments, then the jump scare would come. I'd miss it. Like,
so see,
it didn't hit me as hard because
I've seen more than you. And so have you seen a lot of them where they have mounted cameras like that? Because there are a ton of them with that mounted camera aspect.
Well, it wasn't even the jump around thing. It was that there were times during action sequences where the same camera was edited. It was still in the same person's hand, but there was a cut. And you could see the cut, and it was the same camera.
And it was outside of a running or physical thing.
It was like in the middle of things are banging around and pictures are falling off walls.
Because that's one thing about those movies is sometimes when people are running, it's almost like you believe the shock stops the record for a second. That's another one of those little techniques.
Yeah, but it was too clean.
You're saying even more than that.
It was a little too clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing that was weird was this was a Spanish movie that had a Spanish title attached to it because the Spanish title was Emergo. Well, and which I looked up, and it means I emerge.
Well, and
better title than Apartment 143.
The director was born in Spain.
It said it was released mostly in Spain.
Yeah,
like its early release was in Spain. It's all in English,
which is weird though because you've got, what did we say, 2 actual Spanish actors, 1 or 2.
Yeah, the daughter may have been Spanish,
and the daughter may have been
a perfect American accent.
Well, and I feel as if his dad may have been. I didn't look.
His dad kind of talked like an old New York Jewish guy. So,
but the sensitive, the psychic, you could say.
And it was one of those times.
He
where
was the one who had Spanish acting credits,
and he had a Spanish accent, a Spain Spanish accent. Because we're in Texas, I was like, I don't know what that accent is. It's a little too uninfluenced, but it sounded Spanish to me by mixing of other cultures.
That director was born the same year we were.
Oh, that's weird.
He's our age. One of the films that I saw that he directed was a short called Coming to Town, and it looked like a horror Santa movie.
Oh, I'd be into that.
It's 18 minutes long.
Did you ever see Santa's Sleigh with Goldberg?
No.
No. We might have to do that one at Christmas. At the beginning of it, he kills Fran Drescher in a very brutal way.
Is this Goldberg the wrestler or Goldberg?
Yes.
Or Goldberg from Mighty Ducks?
You fucking cake eater.
You said Goldberg, and I'm like, okay, the one year I watched wrestling, Goldberg was the shit. And then, but I'm also a Mighty Ducks guy, so I'm like, well, wait, are we talking goalie here? Are we fucking, is it something with food? Like,
No.
Oh man, and yeah.
No, but it's we'll get to that. I'm gonna write that down. The amount of like jargon the paranormal investigators used was obscene. So much fucking jargon.
Just describing the situation or their equipment?
Equipment and stuff like that. And then it dropped back to this total casual, no big words conversation. But they'd say it, and you almost felt like the actor was just really the fucking word for it.
Speaking of that, at one point they tried to cleanse the whatever's happening in the apartment by using this thing they called like a something transistor or something. It was that they plugged in the thing that just...
Why did they blur that out?
Why was it blurred out? Because I was thinking, oh, the spirit, or not spirit.
Do you think that they just used some weird equipment that they had laying around? And they were like, that's clearly not whatever we're trying to sell this thing as.
So they had to think of something just to fuck with us?
Blurred out. It had a logo on it or something.
Well, and that's the thing. I thought, oh, maybe it's blurred out because it's turned on and whatever it's trying to get out is fucking hating it. And I was thinking, well, once they unplug it, it won't be blurred.
Yeah.
And no, then they unplug it and it's still blurred out.
Did you also feel like they lost the use of the child actor and that's why they got rid of him?
It's okay. So the mom's dead. They've alluded to this.
Also, I'd like to point out that kid was the best actor in the movie.
He did good.
The little kid was really good.
And he said some creepy shit.
But they really didn't do any little kid creepy shit.
And shit goes on in the apartment, but I guess it's a halfway through the 81-minute movie.
Yeah, I felt like they lost.
So they got rid of the young kid.
This is all the days we have with this kid.
So that leaves the dad with the daughter who's such a dick to her dad.
Was he her stepfather? And then the mom died? And then, but no, he was like, that's my daughter, like later on in the movie.
One of the questions that I have is, I thought that at some point they were going to be like, he sexually assaulted the daughter.
Well, that too, because one of the ghosts, quotation marks again, was like trying to go up her tennis skirt that she was sleeping in. Why was
and they're observing this on the camera, and the professor's like, no.
He was like, don't leave the room.
We have to see what happens.
Yeah, because
this is what
he
he's
thought
getting to.
that the entity itself was like a projection from one of the people in the house.
Psychokinesis.
I wrote it down too because I was like, what the fuck? Phantasmagenesis was another word that they used.
Oh, really?
Yes. I should have looked that up.
So they never acknowledged, because at one point when, who is it? Is the daughter possessed at one point when she's like, don't take your hands off of her? She says something about what you did to her.
Yeah, and I thought that she was supposed to be like channeling the mother at that point.
Yeah, and saying stay away from the daughter, even though it's coming from the daughter.
So why was the mother ghost trying to
keep your hands off her?
Yeah, but why was she trying to lift her skirt up while she was sleeping?
Exactly. No.
So I feel like the script maybe had a lot of that stuff in it, and it got lost somewhere.
Some of the backstory, some filler.
Yeah.
It's missing some of the body.
And also the only location was in the apartment. I don't know why they called it apartment 143, because they were very clear about how this is not a haunted apartment. It's followed.
They mentioned that it followed from the house that they left.
Yeah, so a lot of tropes of things like that's paranormal activity right there.
Yeah.
And
almost one of the biggest things that I didn't expect, the professor, when he's sitting down talking to the dad, he said, there's no such thing as spirits.
Yeah, and then he went on to tell him about like the difference between a poltergeist and I was like, so whatever you just said is invalidated by the next things you said.
And I mean, shit is going on in this movie. Things are flying across the room. They're
and they got down to it pretty quickly too.
And
like they got as soon as they walk in the door, the fucking apartment starts like banging.
And this professor seems to have his shit together, but he's telling him, but don't worry, it's not ghosts. Like someone is
projecting the
manifesting
phantasmagenesis, psychokinesis.
Yeah.
Tuna sandwich.
No. I speaking of tuna sandwich, the first time after the sensitive picks up the spirit or whatever, and she's doing crazy shit and floating, flying around, then there's just that real silent scene where they're all eating at the table. And this is after the
Spanish psychic guy was pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
And that's when you got the first flash of the wide eyes.
I mean, it was no Archive 81 with that lady.
Oh, yeah. See, Archive 81
gouges her fucking eyes out.
This was more screamy, jumpy, shock value-ish.
Yeah.
Not straight gory lose your mind crazy.
When they finally got down to it and the daughter's eyes turn white and they give you the backstory, the really kind of loose backstory. And I thought that he had admitted to killing her. And then he was like, oh, and then she got into a car accident. Earlier, he'd said it was an illness.
Yeah, he kept saying it was an illness, but when he tells the story, she was just off the hinges. She was losing her job as a teacher. He had to take care of the kids. Apparently, he was going to file for a divorce and ask for custody. That came out.
That was also one of the better performances in the movie. Was when
he broke him.
Yeah, when he tells him what happened.
The professor broke the dad.
It was a moment of good acting because fucking Rick Gonzalez fucking failed in this.
Yeah,
his dialogue is fucking wooden and clunky.
He didn't have the right relief role like he used to have.
He was really good with the kid. That's kind of phony anyway when people talk to children. Yeah. But then he'd be like delivering dialogue and it was unedited, so there wasn't cuts in between lines or people's reactions, and it was funky. Rick Gonzalez needs an editor.
Well, it comes out, So yeah, he caught the wife in bed with another man. The illness really wasn't a thing. But apparently the ghost's saying, take your hands off of her. And there's even the scene at the beginning where he sits on the couch next to his daughter and she's like, eh. And did you notice that?
Yeah. And so they did lead me to believe that he like had sexually assaulted her. But then she starts screaming for him, like, Dad, help me.
And when she's coming out of whatever dark place she's like, Dad.
Yeah.
So
I felt like they were trying to convince you that she'd been in like a fugue state the whole time or something. I don't know. A lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
How did that picture get hung upside down? Did somebody take the wire off of it and mount it slightly? Did the ghost do that? Because I mean, the ghost deleted a picture off a computer,
then slammed the laptop.
Not all of the pictures.
The ghost did delete one
just
picture.
The one it didn't want to get out, the nudes.
Like that's on my OnlyFans.
The AC is broken and it's hot in here.
No,
the AC was broken.
The AC was broken at one point.
I kind of wondered if it broke in that shitty apartment they were filming in, and they were just like, "We'll just make it part of the movie." Why?
You guys out here
sweaty, in his fucking suit.
Overall, I've seen some really good handheld movies.
Rapey Mother Ghost was not my favorite movie ghost.
No, and apparently wasn't even rapey at all. Which good thing.
Yeah, was she trying to signal a rapiness?
And with the hand up the
was
thigh.
She trying to implicate the
if
dad?
That was the mom spirit that wasn't a spirit.
Such a soft daughter I have.
I like the thigh.
The inner thigh. Dad tries to go help.
Yeah.
Well, the father says that the mother was mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't give any real reason why she became a ghost.
Yeah, normally there's the unfinished business.
Because then she like wrapped her car around a tree, and then the kids blamed me the whole time.
Well, always one of those big staples is it's unfinished business.
But it was being projected from the daughter, carried from one house to another. She didn't even die in a house.
Oh, and that
she
was the
died in a
premise
car
for them
accident.
taking the boy out. They wanted to take him out of the equation to make sure that it was something in the apartment or one of them.
Yeah,
he
but
mentioned that.
Still almost like I was like, you took away your golden ticket here. You scare that little kid. You scare me a little bit, like I'm going to live through that kid now. But you took him out of the fucking equation when grumpy Brooklyn granddad came, and then we lost the little kid.
That's pretty much that movie. It had a really short runtime. While it's an exorcism, I guess it's not an exorcism. There was no priest.
So I feel like this was supposed to be more of an exorcist kind of movie, and they didn't do an exorcism or anything, because also the daughter throws up in her cereal. And then
After
the girl helps her away after the white eye scene.
Mm-hmm.
She throws up in her soup or her cereal. I have no idea what time of day.
That's after she beats the dad's ass while she's possessed, not possessed. Remember?
Yeah, she kicked the shit out of him too.
Yeah, she fucking destroyed him. So then there's the awkward scene where they're eating, and that's how the awkward scene ends. Is just blah.
Yeah, she throws up in her fucking bowl, and then she smiles at the camera as she passes by.
Yeah,
and then it cuts to a machine that's beeping in the living room that was called a Marco Polo machine.
Is that what it said on that?
It said Marco Polo.
Okay. I saw the thing, but I didn't read it because that's when the professor's sitting next to the dad.
I rewound because it was just like beep, 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 like across the room.
But then the little peg was actually stuck the whole time. Did you notice that?
Yeah, for sure.
I was waiting for it to peg
but
the little gauge.
Yeah, what does a Marco Polo machine do for?
Maybe it does something with EVPs.
Yeah, but Evil Dead Caitlin was pretty spooky.
Oh, I like that name, Evil Dead Caitlin.
Yeah,
That's tight.
Yeah,
I
because
like
she
that.
kind of had a Deadite feel to her.
She did.
You know, she was a little bit like,
Yeah, like
like the Deadites are always real happy to be there. You know, they're like, and then it goes all Three Stooges.
No, man, very good. I love that shit. Yeah. No, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then at the end of the fucking movie, when she's like floating on, like floating around, but she like comes into the fucking kitchen, and then they look at the camera, and she's still in bed, and I don't know what they were trying to get at there.
It was like a projection. She was projecting the spirit, not spirit, because if the body's one place and then that's somewhere else, that's a projection, right? Isn't that the terminology for it in these movies?
In your bio, it's going to be like, Frank explains unexplainable movies to Scott.
Oh, man. I've seen enough of this shit. It's been spoon-fed to me for a long time now.
No, it's nice to have somebody like rationalize, because generally I want to like a movie. I never set out to watch a movie and I'm like, I'm going to fucking hate it.
Well, and you told me you're on the fence about this one.
I didn't think it was a complete waste. It was fine. As far as like if I had set out to watch like a horror movie, I didn't feel as wasted as you did on Witches in the Woods, where you were just mad at the characters and the decisions and all kinds of stuff. But with this one,
you can't break through chain with a hood ornament, man.
I would have been a little bit mad that I picked it, but I wouldn't have been at a total like, I wish it had scared me.
Yeah. I'm no expert on those movies, but I love those movies. This one was not the worst. It was by far.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
It's not the worst. There's several that I've turned off. They did not pass the 20-minute test. I was like, this is fucking garbage.
Yeah, but there's some really good ones.
Okay, so
Record was good, and it's a remake with Deb from Dexter.
Quarantine,
yeah.
Record.
Quarantine was real spooky with the feeling around in the dark, and there's like a creepy thing.
Yeah,
in there.
big budget. You've got Cloverfield.
That's one in a building.
Well, one of the.
I like Cloverfield too.
The Kickstarter, Blair Witch. Some other good ones that if you're interested in those, Alien Abduction 2014. It's creepy as fuck. That one had a scene that it scared the shit out of me. It was just creepy. I mean, the way that they got me. I won't say anything.
Yeah, was The Exorcism of Emily Rose found footage?
Yes, that's the one where the dad was a preacher, right, or something. I get The Last Exorcism and The Exorcism of Emily Rose mixed up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Now I don't know if I have them mixed up.
Yeah, see, those fuck with me.
It might have been The Last Exorcism.
Because then there's The Last Exorcism 2, which, did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, man. Ending was definitely not original, but it fit. It was just, it almost gave me goosebumps. Again, and that's if I'm not mixing them up.
Okay, yeah. But I like some bad exorcism kind of movies, I love all those fucking Christian superhero movies they made with Patrick Wilson.
What the fuck? What? What?
The Conjuring.
Oh,
they're just Christian superhero movies. Let's be fair. Those are the Marvel Christian movies.
I've never heard that.
They're Christian superhero movies, 100%.
Okay, well, what about
because the Warrens, those people are pieces of shit in real life that capitalize on every little thing that comes along. So they made Christian superheroes.
Oh, what are their names? I've seen all those movies, so it's like something in Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, they're really like
I'm probably getting their names wrong.
Conjuring 2, was that the one with the house?
The guy in the chair.
Yeah,
2 was the guy in the chair.
So they weren't there.
The ghost in the chair.
They weren't at that haunting. They were there for a day.
A day,
and then they wrote a book,
and then they took credit,
like they were fucking there, and they didn't. I still like the movies. I don't care.
Oh wait, or is it like Ted and Lorraine Warren?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Never mind.
Yeah, I liked everyone in it. I like the movies.
What about
I hate the fucking Warrens, but that's just me watching ghost documentaries and shit like that.
Well,
like,
The Conjuring
piece of shit.
The Conjuring was like movie theater, theatrical release, big push. That
I like those. What was the other one that he did?
Sorry.
The running backwards one. That one was fucking great.
The running back?
Malignant.
Oh, with the fucking tumor. The tumor.
Yeah, because that was different.
Oh, Malignant was different. Insidious. Did you ever do Insidious?
Oh, Insidious got me.
I like
with
the first
that daytime shit, man. Where there it is, like behind her.
Yes.
Oh my god, that really.
What the fuck?
I told someone about that, and it scared them.
I did get goosebumps from you talking
because it's like.
So I didn't know about that movie. We were at that's when we lived at the duplex.
It came on
Netflix,
and then I watched it.
I was like, oh, what's this? And it scared the fuck out of me.
Well, that was the same. I was like,
that's what I was
like, Patrick Wilson's fucking in this one too.
Yeah.
I'll watch that shit.
I think it is Ted and Lorraine. Sorry.
It is Ted and Lorraine.
I
You're
can't
right.
let it go.
Yeah.
It came around.
Yeah, but I fucking hate him.
What about
in real life?
The Taking of Deborah Logan?
You talk about that all the time. I love The Taking of Deborah Logan. I thought it was great.
See, so that's
really good.
That's a good one. That's paranormal.
Yeah, I like that.
Creepy as fuck.
The other kind of found footage movie I think they've never really pulled off is the space found footage movie.
Europa Report.
Europa Report wasn't very good.
Oh, you just hurt my.
You
didn't
loved
like
Europa Report?
I thought it was pretty good.
No, I was more for the Schreiber one that came out at the same time.
Sphere?
Last Days on Mars.
Last Days on Mars. That one was
pretty good.
That one was darker.
Yeah, I like that one more. They came out like the same month.
That's like fucking space zombies.
Yeah, I liked it. I dug it.
Spoiler alert. Conjuring, big money. Hollywood, big cast, everything. Taking it to Deborah Logan snuck under. The one alien abduction that I said. I never saw shit about that.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch that.
There was another one that I saw, 2014, Hangar 10.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. I like that one.
Did you like Hangar 10?
Yeah.
They're out there metal detecting.
Yeah,
so that's a good one. And then one.
And I liked all those record movies because there was like record and then record on a plane and record.
Yeah, Quarantine 2 is on a plane. They did the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the originals are great.
Okay.
Those found footage movies are good when they're subtitled because they work that way really well. Because sometimes they have to subtitle it anyway. This one I thought about putting the subtitles on a few times because the sound was fuck awful. Like that was part of the reason I switched to headphones watching this movie was I was like, I can't understand anything anyone's fucking saying.
So I'm watching it in the living room. Olympia's trying to sleep in the bedroom. The dishwasher's going.
And it would get really fucking loud. Like the phone would ring for no reason. The ghost
and that
was
phone
calling.
was so old. It had the old school.
Oh yeah. It was like the cream colored kitchen phone.
Yeah. So I'm
with
like
the clear plastic button to hang up.
Yeah. One weird thing I noticed, one of my favorite ones was Phoenix Forgotten. And it's about, the Phoenix 97 thing. And now Phoenix Forgotten was 2017. I'd also seen the Phoenix Incident, which was 2016. And I've also seen the Phoenix Tapes 97, which is also 2016. As I was taking down a bunch of these that I've seen, I had to.
It's so weird. Hey, you love found footage movies this. You're a found footage nerd.
The Phoenix Tapes 97 and the Phoenix Incident were both 2016. And then released 1 year later is Phoenix Forgotten in 2017.
And they're not related in any way?
They're
all found footage movies?
They're all found footage, and they are
weird.
all tied into the actual incident in Phoenix in 97 with the Phoenix Lights.
Are they all different stories?
Yes.
That's weird, man.
So why were there 3 of them between 2 years? All have Phoenix in. They're all related on the Phoenix Lights of 97.
Oh, that's bizarre, man.
One of the only ones I'm interested in that could be there's one called the Garlock Incident or something like that. It keeps popping up on Prime for me.
Yeah.
But it's like stuck at $4.99 or $5.99. And I'm like, this could be a bust. Because I've turned off plenty. And I don't want to talk about the bad ones. Besides the Bobcat Goldthwait, there was a Bigfoot one. Scary as shit. Like it had a couple jumps. It was just because they were aggressive. Fucking aggressive.
That's what I want in a found footage movie. This one fell short because it didn't get me. I want to be got. I really do. I don't think jump scares are cheap.
No.
I like slow burn horror movies, but sometimes I just want someone to fucking shock the fuck out of me.
There's one of them on Amazon that says slow burn. It's called Raccoon City or Raccoon something. And
it's a Resident Evil movie?
Not even. No, but it is a post-apocalypse thing.
Oh, weird.
But it tells you slow burn in the description. I'm like, well, if you guys are saying it straight up, how slow is this slow burn? I watched one, these evil things came out at night. This girl's trapped in a van that rolled over. The whole movie is her.
Car movie.
She's trapped in the van fighting off these weird night beasts in a world where nobody's like living normally anymore.
Is it the Nightbreed?
It's
Nightbreed 2?
No, it's not.
Is David Cronenberg in it?
No, it's not Nightbreed. No.
Is he going to touch something fleshy?
No. But there's so many.
Nightbreed is the shit.
In case you didn't know.
In case you weren't around in the 80s. We were watching dudes playing saxophone with no shirt on.
One of my notes from this movie was keep filming. Keep filming.
Yeah, at the end of that movie, they left that camera so they could do that cheap fucking ceiling crawl. Maybe in 2012, 2011. Not as cheap to do a ceiling crawl.
And I knew it was coming. But do you want to know the truth? As soon as I saw it coming at me, I hit back on the remote and I backed out. I was just like, it's over.
This movie scared you?
At times.
I ate an edible and this movie didn't scare me.
I don't know. I was gonna say most people get paid to sit in a dark room. This movie will scare the shit out of you.
I was sitting in a dark room. Yeah, dark room, headphones, edible. Didn't get me.
You know what?
I wanted to be got too. I really did. And he begat him. And
There's a psychological thing there because I feel like I'm more likely to believe in ghosts than you.
I think you probably are. Yeah.
So for me,
I've lived in fucked up turn of the century farmhouses and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I'm not as freaked out by stuff like that.
No, some of that shit.
Because it was like, yeah, go in the root cellar. Henrietta.
No. If you like them, found footage, handheld, it's not the worst. It's fine.
Yeah, I really think they should have gone with detective mutton chops that they had in one shot. Like at the end when the paramedics come and the detective is just sauntering around the apartment while they're breaking their equipment down.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Fucking detective mutton chops.
What's he doing?
See these giant fucking chops. The falling action after the climax was fucking nonsense.
Derek doesn't curl.
I'm glad you like that.
That was fucking awesome.
But I mean, we talked about Patrick Wilson so much. Next time we're going to do Moonfall, which we both want to watch because Roland Emmerich is either an American treasure or a tragedy. Either way, I enjoy his movies just about every time for some reason. If it's not for watching a bad movie, it's for watching an overblown blockbuster movie,
which I'll watch.
But that movie seems absurd. And I like it.
Did he do Geostorm? He didn't do Geostorm, did he?
I don't know. He did 10,000 BC.
He did that?
Yeah.
That was him?
I'm pretty goddamn sure. You may have to verify it.
So that was a Hollywood movie? And do you know what? I would recommend that as a family movie. I would tell families like on a Sunday afternoon, I'll watch that.
You know, when I was working at the video store, a lot of people would come in with their family and then they'd rent Apocalypto. They were riding that Passion of the Christ wave where they were like, I know, yeah, this other thing.
And then 10,000 BC. And then I'm sure there was something else. Was in
Roland Emmerich?
No, just like that type of, like you're saying. He directed Stargate with Spader and Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that?
Fuck no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Stargate, the original Stargate movie is fucking fantastic. The TV show will always have a kid who doesn't have cable soft spot in my heart.
We had so many good times fucking with Stargate. It's that thing in his forehead.
Was mostly being really high in high school, but
thanks everyone for joining us for the Last Video Store Clerks podcast. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe. You can find us on Twitter at Last Clerks, Instagram at The Last Video Store Clerks, and you can find Scott at dispatchesfromthepit.com.